Faster Than Light is a game created by Sunset Games and has you take the role of piloting a starship through various waypoints throughout the galaxy in an attempt to deliver vital information for the survival of the Federation. Along the way, you're pursued by rebels, the essential bad guys of the game, who try to stop you. This is a roguelike game. That means that you get one life, no continues, and saving will exit the game. It also means loot, and the events are very random throughout the game, so once again no one can give you a clear-cut walkthrough from start to finish. But there are some tips and strategies to help you survive. This game has 3 achievements for every ship layout, and these actually serve a purpose. Attain any 2 will unlock a second layout for that ship. In total, there are 9 ships, 2 layouts each, for a total of 18 distinct playstyles. While no ship is a bad option, depending on your playstyle and how much a veteran you are at the game, you may find some designs lackluster, while others overpowered. This can keep the game a fresh experience for quite some time, though I will admit unlocking some ships is a challenge, requiring very specific systems or subsystem layouts, and or having very specific crew members just to have even a chance, provided you even find the right sector and the right beacon with the right random event. Did I mention this was a roguelike game? First, before you start out, I recommend entering the options menu and selecting Show Beacon Paths on Hover enabled. This will allow you to view and plot your way through each sector. While it removes a little of the guesswork, the game can be hard enough. Secondly, abuse the spacebar. No, I'm not kidding. The spacebar is your best friend. It's the pause button and will allow you time to think and plan your next set of actions. You might have to flee a sector with intruders on board only to come across a hostile next beacon, and you haven't dealt with your previous problems. While the game is paused, you're free to issue move commands to crew, power on and off weapons, and target systems on enemy ships. If you're in a very busy set of circumstances, you can have several problems mounting at once: intruders, hull breaches, injured crew members, fire, damaged systems, and enemy ships. Simply keep a level head and abuse the spacebar. If you're starting for the first time, you'll have no choice but to take the Kestrel, Layout A. Overall, this is a well-balanced ship and always a good choice. You'll instantly be greeted with the heads-up display, giving you the basic overview. At the top, you'll see your hull bar, basically your health. This gets to 0, it's game over. Next to it is your scrap count, which doubles as both upgrade parts and currency, along with tabs called Jump Ship and Shop if one is present. Below this, you'll see your shields bar if a shield is installed, then fuel, missiles, and drone parts displaying quantity. You'll also see your evasion percentage, which changes based on the number of engine bars powered, and oxygen supply that decreases whenever you have a hull breach or when the oxygen system is depowered. You'll also have a view of your crew members, letting you keep tabs on their health. Hovering over the tabs lets you view crew skill levels from the various tasks they have performed. Any skill can be upgraded twice, green and gold, netting perks every full bar. You can also click these tabs or the crew directly to select them. At the bottom, you'll see your ship's available reactor power and how it's distributed among your various systems, including weapons. You can even drag weapons to change their precedent order, which affects the order they are powered. Finally, at the bottom right is the subsystem view. These don't require reactor power to function and consist of piloting sensors and doors. Sorry for talking your ear off about all the basics. Let's start playing the game. Clicking on the Jump tab will take you to the galactic map, showing you all the various nodes residing in the current sector. To choose one, simply hover over it and click it. This will take you to the next waypoint in the sector, where any number of things can happen. You'll undoubtedly come across your first combat, and this is the bread and butter of the game. You wait for your weapons to power up, target them on various systems of the enemy ship, and hope for the best. Any number of reliable strategies can be employed. Some prefer to target weapons, and once they're disabled, alternate between them and shields. Others enjoy taking out shields first. I prefer to hit piloting first, weapons second, then alternate between shields and weapons. When piloting is offline, the ship, including yours, will have 0 evade until it's repaired. While striking engines has the same effect, there are generally far more bars of engine health than piloting. Whatever you decide, keep an eye on your own ship's health, and if you're using them, your missile drone count. It's unwise to waste needless amounts of either. Missiles will penetrate all shields, so can be used to target any system directly. Other forms of attacks must strike through shields first, and unless using the halberd or the glaive, beam weapons are useless unless the shields are fully lowered. From time to time, you'll be hailed by the enemy you're fighting, who will ask to surrender with a peace offering. You can be offered virtually anything from the basic scrap, fuel, drone, and missiles to a ship or weapon augment. It can be a pretty sweet deal, and destroying the ship will generally destroy their offered goods, and the only thing you'll get out of it is more scrap that way. I often give in if the pot is fat enough, but not always. Sometimes it's more fun to watch them blow up, you know? Throughout any sector, you'll acquire scrap through salvaging after battle or random events. You can use this to repair or buy things at stores or to directly upgrade your ship. I prefer to first upgrade the med bay, then sensors one level each before I focus on engines and reactor power. This allows for more blue options to be available earlier in the game. Oh right, I need to touch base on this really fast. Occasionally, you'll be confronted with a choice to make during an event. If a special requirement is met, an option not normally available will show displayed in cyan. Virtually always, this option has positive results, so it's a no-brainer. As you progress through any sector, you'll notice the rebel fleet encroaching from the left. Every jump increases this area of influence by the amount indicated with warning. No matter what, you'll have to navigate through 7 sectors plus the last stand. While sector choices and linking paths are always random, there are some near-static variables to keep in mind. The rock homeworlds, if they've spawned, will be Sector 6 and are always red. The slug homeworlds are purple and will be Sector 7. If these options aren't red or purple respectively, then homeworlds haven't spawned. While exploring, you'll find shops, which allow you to buy various goods. Inventories are random and may consist of weapons, ship augmentations, drones, or even crew. Here you can also repair your hull, an option always available, and replenish a limited number of consumables. However, spending scrap this way will limit the amount you have for ship upgrades. Scrap is a resource you have to manage. The final sector is where you fight the mothership, and my god, is it a beast. Let's just say it's not a fair fight. The last stand is unique in that you start on the right and travel to the left, seeking the enemy flagship in an effort to destroy it. Arriving here automatically repairs your hull and adds 10 fuel to your reserves. Here you have to decide if the layout of your ship is adequate. One of the best ways to do this is to find an enemy rebel ship in the sector and go and attack it. If you survive the battle with only 1, 2, or even 0 hull points gone, then you're probably adequately equipped to deal with the mothership. Every enemy rebel flagship here has either 3 or 4 shield bars and has an impressive armament. If you can't defeat any of these ships easily, then you're probably not prepared. Sometimes when you get to the final sector, the loadout of your ship is just not up to par. Now I got lucky on my way here. I received a loot drop from an enemy ship that landed me one of the best ship augments in the game. I also found 2 distinct shops, each offering what I consider the best all-around weapon. Now you might wish to stay in the sector as long as you can, flying around finding rebel ships and destroying them, because the loot drop of scrap is some of the best in the game. And if you are requiring an extra bar of shields or an extra sensor or piloting upgrade, now's one of the best times to receive it. However, you can't simply pussyfoot around in this sector exploiting all beacons. Like other sectors, you're on a timetable. Above the map, you'll see a number indicating jumps until the enemy flagship is in range. This indicates how many jumps the flagship will make before it's automatically game over. It jumps every 2 beacon jumps, so you have some time, but not a lot. When it's time to take on the flagship, be prepared to fight it 3 separate times. Yeah, it's one of those type of bosses. In its first form, its main ace in the hole is its cloaking. It spams this whenever it can, which will lead to lots of frustration. The main focus on this Colossus will be its missile launcher. That's the 3rd weapon from the left. Do whatever it takes to put this weapon out of commission. Don't worry, each weapon has its own room, and it can't juggle weapons like you can to keep it operational. After this weapon is KO'd, try to focus between the cloaking and the shield. This ship has a large crew and can repair quite quickly, so taking out its shields, navigation, or cloaking for any length of time will be frustrating. If you can spare shots, focus a little firepower on the ion beam or burst cannon. Continue your assault, and you'll cripple it enough to flee. After each phase is completed, you'll get a small amount of scrap and resources. Sometimes you'll even get a weapon. Don't rely on this, it's purely random. Its main trick on the 2nd stage will be its drones, and this is the phase that gives most people the largest headache. It spams boarding drones, along with having a defense drone orbiting its shields and 2 regular drones orbiting your ship, peppering you with damage. If you're using missiles on your ship, this can be a problem. Also, if your doors aren't upgraded to blast doors level 3, the boarding drone will wreak havoc on your ships and systems. You'll notice its missile launcher is repaired once again, so same tactics apply here. Try to destroy it. However, you also notice a warning indicating a power surge detected. After a few seconds, it'll launch a volley of 6 orbiting drones on top of its original 2 that have various attacks. While this lasts only about 6 seconds before dissipating, this is enough to seriously cripple or destroy your ship. There's little strategy here other than pray, and a good cloaking device with stealth weapons works wonders here. After the 2nd phase, it's likely you're very low on hull points. If you have a hull repair drone, now's the time to use it. If you have an advanced FTL navigator, try to revisit a repair station you haven't used and get kitted up. Also while fighting, you'll notice its 3rd little trick. It has an impressive Zoltan shield that has to be knocked out before any damage will get through. Also, throughout this fight, it can recharge the Zoltan shield, something not possible by any other vessel, including yours. This is a pretty cheap tactic, but hey, no one said this would be easy. Once again, you have to cripple the missile launcher, but fortunately its firepower seems limited in this phase. Yet, while in this last stage, it has another final trick. You'll get a warning, once again, power surge detected. It fires a volley of 7 heavy laser blasts all at once. It's probably guaranteed a few will get through. With a little luck and a lot of practice, though, you'll finally take this beast down. This game has a lot to offer and can keep you coming back for punishment again and again. Just like any roguelike, dying's part of the fun.